Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'll be discussing the summary of The Courage to Be Disliked. It's a book by a Japanese author and goes to show the dialogue of two people. Uh, One is a youth, another is a philosopher, and it basically discusses the concept and principles of Adler psychology. So there are three main psychologists in the field of psychology which are very well known, and world is Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung and Adler. So this book focuses on the philosophy of Adler, and I'll be sharing the key insights and summaries from this book. Even though, as far as I have read it, I didn't find any significant thing in it to be learned, and most of it is just fillers. So for the first part was quite boring actually, but later on it got a bit interesting. So and a few of things that I liked about it was that the horizontal and vertical responsibilities thing. Other than that, majority of it I think is quite repetitive and full of fillers. So if I have to give it like out of 10, I would rate it like 5. So uh, let's dive into the book, and I will show you what I've highlighted and what I've learned from the book. So let's start. So it basically goes around like 5 nights of the philosopher discussing with the well, philosopher discussing with the youth. So he goes there every night, takes away something new, and then thinks on it, and then goes back again. And this cycle sort of repeats over. So I will just go to the stuff I have bookmarked and show you my learnings and what I thought to be important from this book. So so here he talks about interpersonal relationships as competition. So he says that you shouldn't think other person's happiness as your defeat. The philosopher quotes reading from page 75. Earlier, you didn't say I can't celebrate other people's happiness with all my heart. Think of interpersonal relationship as competition. You the other person, perceive others people's happiness as my defeat, and that is why you can't celebrate it. However, once one is released from the schema of competition, you need to triumph over someone disappears. One is also released from the fear that maybe I will lose, and one becomes able to celebrate. So he will just saying that you should relieve yourself of competition and be independent of relationships. If someone is succeeding, that's their goal and happiness. You should be happy about it and not put yourself in a competition with them. And here he talks about if someone were to abuse me to my face, I would think about the person's hidden goal. If you are not lucky with this, when you feel genuinely angry to the other person or the behavior, please consider the person is challenging you toward a power struggle. Here he talks about that if someone is harsh to you, you sort of think that they are kind of challenging you, and you're sort of in a fight with you. You don't think that maybe they are struggling in life themselves or something. So uh, you shouldn't get into a power struggle. And here he quotes an example of a child teasing his parents and shares that what is his goal. The child's goal is to irritate the parent and get them to fight and prove his power by winning. Then that's the human psychology. Whenever you're disturbing someone or putting up a show, your goal is to show a position of power. So, and where the interpersonal relation that when states in the positive but finally one must know. So whenever someone disturbs you or puts you into a power struggle, you should ignore it and put out of the race, because in the end a power struggle will destroy the race. In a power struggle there is always a winner, and in some things in life you can't have a winner. So if you if you're a child and you get into a fight, you don't want you to win and you don't want your child to win as well. So in either case, and if anyone loses, it will damage the whole relationship. Where you see that if you shouldn't see anybody as enemies, just take relationships as horizontal and don't get into a power struggle. If you see people doing wrong things as enemies, then you're bound to defeat them or get defeated by them. In either case, you will lose the battle, and this is not an ideal situation to be. And here is it talks about discard other people's task. So like if someone's task is to do their homework, and you shouldn't like pick up their pencils and start forcing them to do their work. Instead, let them do their own tasks and ask them if they need any help, and you can help them. And if they do not need any help, you should avoid that, but you shouldn't involve in their tasks and make them their own. And here he talks about the parents example. And here he talks about that you should do whatever you want to do and just disassociate yourself from the what other people think, regardless of that. So whatever you want to do, you should do that, but do not make decisions irrespective of what other people will say or how they would be affected by it. Here he talks about that Alexander example, and he was a king who lived in 4th century before Christ. When he was a Persian. He who unravels his knot shall be the master of Asia. So there was a knot that they said whoever could unravel it would become the master of Asia, and and no one had succeeded before it. And when Alexander saw the knot, he pulled out its fork and sliced it in half rather than unraveling it. Destiny found something brought by any legend, but clearing away with one's own sword. Children who have not been taught to confront challenges will try to avoid challenges. So here the same principle about talking about getting through stuff no matter how tough it is, and making things seem as independent task, and thinking outside the box and not sticking with the same frame of mind. The courage to be happy also includes the courage to be disliked. When you have the gain the courage of representation. So it talks about that you shouldn't be afraid of being disliked. You should be, if you can't be disliked, you can't be happy. So you should be independent of the fact. And here he talks about God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to always tell the difference. Overall, the book mainly is fillers. If I change the world will change. No balance will change the world. For me, so here it just concludes by talking that if you want to change the world, just change yourself, and with you everything will fall into place. Because most of the world is just perception of how the world is. Nothing is permanent and nothing is real at all. So that is it for this video.